Halloween.
Forever.
Steve.
Hello, Brian.
Hey, got one for you. Got some British jokes for you here. Ready? Why do British people pronounce the word British as British?
British. Why? I don't know. They have to mind the gap. Is that part of it?
Nah, you're overthinking it. You're overthinking it. They drank all the tea. Drank all the tea. The letter T. It's not in there. British. All right. Welcome, boils and ghouls, to a undoubtedly fucking stupid Showdown episode of Halloween is Forever. I'm Brian.
I'm Steve.
Here we are. Guys, it's August. Holy dog shit. It is pretty much spooky season, if you ask me. But we got to spin that spinny ass wheel, Steve. We got to get that goddamn wheel spinning because we got to pick a September Showdown topic. For those of you who are new to the show, maybe you're just joining us. Maybe you start listening to us around spooky season. You're caught up to, working your way back through the old catalog. We appreciate you. Where you been? First of all, get your shit straight. You got about 200, 300 fucking episodes to catch up on. So get listening. But we deliver some spicy, sticky, sweet, yummy content on the internet every damn Monday. But the first 3 Mondays of the month, we do what's called a Showdown episode. That means me, Steve, and our guest, or potentially our collective Patreon community, as is the case this month, we pick movies associated with a particular topic. That topic could be a particular performer, like it is this month. It could be a trope, a subgenre. It could be any number of things. And we have a spinny ass wheel that's got a bunch of potential topics on it. We spin it 3 times. We put it out on the social medias for our listeners and friends to vote on. Once you pick one, that's when we pick our movies associated with that topic. So last month we had 3 different topics. Christopher Lee is what took it down, and that's what we're doing. So we're getting ready to spin that wheel for September, and that'll be the last time we spin it for a couple months, because once we get to October, we got a different wheel. We got the Wheel-O-Ween, and we'll talk about that a little bit more next month. Okay, Steve, let's see what we got for September. Let's spin it for the first time.
Here it goes, round and round. And the first choice is non-werewolf transformations. Non-werewolf.
That is an interesting non-werewolf transformations. I'm jotting that down. That is very specific, and I like that. So obviously, something transforming from something to another. But that thing, one of them things, can't be a werewolf.
Can't be a werewolf.
That's what I'm taking from
and
that.
I think it's got to be specifically on camera too. I think it can't.
Yes.
Yeah,
okay.
I think because we talk a lot about how like the werewolf transformation is a big part of a werewolf movie, and if it looks like shit, it'll take you out of it. So I think it's got to happen on camera. It can't just be like, oh, she was a snake the whole time. Like no. Show me her becoming a snake.
Yeah. I'm thinking I'm thinking of a particular movie where a damn woman turns into a snake now that you said that, but now I can't place where it is. But let's say a Cronenberg's The Fly.
Yeah.
Right. That makes sense. I think in Lair the White Worm, I think somebody turns into something. Well, The Thing, I would even say, but we've done The Thing before, so we can't do it again. But you get the idea. The Substance. Do we ever talk about The Substance on the show?
Only on kind of like a wrap-up episode of like,
gotcha.
We're just like talking about everything we saw for the year. So we didn't do a full episode, so I think it's still on the table. If that is a winner.
Yep. Oh, the next spin has occurred, and we got a Real left turn here, guys. We got horniest horror,
This is
which I like a lot. We've been talking about doing this one for a while. There's a lot of horny horror movies out there, and we're talking about the horniest of the horny. So we're talking about movies that are, hyper sexualized in some capacity, or perhaps are about some degree of sexual attraction or sexual motivation. That sounds pretty exciting. We could go a million different directions. I mean, we just talked about the substance. Obviously, that's pretty damn horny. But yeah, it could go in a million. Actually, I'm talking about a movie that would be pretty damn horny.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. In a 70s British way.
Yeah. I was gonna say it's like there is like a hot naked lady and she smacks her hams, but I don't know how horny that is.
Well, I mean, they're singing songs about fertility. It's horny in an old school kind of pagan way. You know what I mean? Which is to say, I don't know, pretty horny. All right, so we've got two. Let's spin it one more time and get our third one. Here she comes. Our third potential option for the September Showdown is, I like this one. It's Blood Blank. So the title of the movie is Blood something. I think we probably, you tell me what you think, Steve. I think we could be a little bit, so if it's The Blood something or Blood something something, I think it's okay. I don't think it has to be two words, blood, and then a second word.
Yeah, I don't think, because haven't we already done this one before in the past years?
Really?
I thought we had, but maybe...
I mean, we definitely talked about, Return to Bloodfire Lake, things like that.
Yeah. Maybe I'm thinking of Blood Beach, because we definitely did Blood Beach as an episode. So, yeah. But I think it's fine, just as long as blood is in the title.
Mm-hmm. I think we talked about Blood Rage as well during Thanksgiving.
We've definitely done that. So that would be off the table.
Yeah.
No cranberry sauce for that one.
No cranberry sauce for this one, but perhaps a blood and black lace could be on the table.
Wait, could it? We didn't do that for Giallo?
Did we do that in Giallo's before? We might have did that for Giallo. We'll have to go back and check. Yeah, that might have been on the set. But we could do here's the question. A Bay of Blood. That's not Blood Blank. It's blank of blood.
Maybe. I don't know. I feel like the spirit is kind of narrowing down to those kind of stupid movies like Blood Rage.
Yes.
Because it is
Blood Feast, perhaps. Although, did we ever do Herschel Gordon Lewis? I think it was on the spinning wheel, but we never. No, I think it came up for votes, but it never won. I think he's
literally come up 3 times and he's never won. And we've only done 2001 Maniacs as a episode. So yeah.
Yeah, and I don't even remember. I think that was maybe like the redneck horror, like Beware of Redneck Horror or something like that. Or Small Town Horror, maybe. I don't remember. Anyway, yes. Okay, I think we're in agreement here. Blood Blank, that would be a lot of fun. So just as a recap, and if you don't already, go over on the social medias at Halloween is Forever on all the various things and stuff. And Steve will put up a little poll for you to vote on sometime in the coming week. So we will have an opportunity for you to vote. And then our patrons over on the Patreon get an extra vote on the Discord. Don't forget that. We'll talk about Patreon here in a hot sec. But just to recap, potential topics for September Showdown are non-werewolf transformations, horniest horror, and Blood Blank is the title. So go over and vote. And we'll see what comes up for September, and we'll pick some movies in the coming weeks. Speaking of Patreon, though, Steven, why don't you tell the boils and ghouls what's happening over on the Patreon? Because we got a bunch of nasty shit going on over there.
Yes, just a reminder, jump on to patreon.com/HalloweenIsForever. Sign up. You get to choose movies because it's actually our newest patron who signed up, and he added his pick to what could possibly be a best of a Christopher Lee. His newest pick.
Oh,
it got choosed, idiot. is
It got choosed.
Tuesday. His newest pick got added to the wheel that decides the winner for the patrons. So yeah, it behooves you to sign up for that. But on top of all that, you get to jump on the Discord, interact live with episodes, and you get exclusive monthly podcast. And right now, in August, we're winding down our current series. And it is God is Not Forever, a roadmap to killing God's dumb ass. And
yes.
Yeah, we're winding that down, but you can jump on the back end. You can hear all the previous episodes, and you can hear every other series that we've done up to this point.
Which this is our 4th Patreon podcast series. Patreon exclusive series. Yeah, this is how it started. Steve made me watch all the Fast and the Furious movies. Pissed me off. You don't have to watch them. I'd encourage you don't. But Steve made me watch all of them, and then we talked about how bad they sucked. Then I made him watch a bunch of weird right-wing Christian propaganda horror movies. That was fucked up. And then Steve made me watch a bunch of horrifically dumb 90s comedies that had like horror ties to them. You'd see like a Robert Englund pop up or some bullshit. And then now I'm making him watch a bunch of movies where we are trying to learn from these movies about how we can successfully satisfy my New Year's resolution, which is, again, this year to kill God. So that's where we're at. And then I think we got, two or three episodes left of that series.
We have our August episode, and then it'll actually end this October. And then November will begin something new.
Yeah. And then Steve will pick what the new one is. So it's a lot of fun, and you get the backlog to, I don't know, a couple hundred extra hours of content on there. All of this for just $5 little dollary dues a month, which, is it's almost nothing, right? Get your head out of your ass. Okay. Anything else before we jump into this showdown?
No, we can go as we please now.
All right. Are you ready to jump into Horror Express?
Yes, let's jump into Horror Express. From 1972, we're talking about Horror Express, also known as Panico en el Trans-Siberiano, which fucking rules. The Panic on the Trans-Siberian. That's a fucking great title. It's also called The Possessor, which is also a good title for this. Yeah,
ooh, I didn't see that one. But it kind of
gives away. Okay. I think it gives away more about what this tale is. I think Panic on the Trans-Siberian is the best. But yeah, we have a pretty amazing cast on this one. This is Christopher Lee, top billed. I think this is the only film that he gets top billed of the 3 that we're talking about this month. But then he's also paired with Peter Cushing, which, boy, were these two inseparable.
Sure. They really were. And yeah, we'll talk about it when we talk about our next movie, but that kind of kicked off their duo for good 5 or 6 years. I don't think they were in a movie without each other. It felt like
they just could not show up with each other, like especially the Dracula films. Curse of Frankenstein we'll talk about, and a couple other films that I think The Creeping Death they're both together in as well. But yeah, so loaded there. Then we also have Telly Savalas, who
which he shows up about like 2/3 to 3/4 of the way through the movie, but it really, that was a shocker to me. I was not expecting Kojak.
It's a shocker, and I'll admit up front, I think he steals the show.
Yeah, 100%. First of all, that outfit, how can't you? But also the fact that he's supposed to, we'll get there, so I'm jumping ahead, but he's supposed to play this like, hard ass like Cossack, but instead he's just Kojak with a fancy coat.
Dude, he is sexy, horny Kojak who hates everybody. He fucking. I
was literally expecting him to be like, "Who loves you, baby?"
Yeah.
Like he really thought he was gonna say it.
Dude, he fucking rules so hard in this movie.
He does rule. Yeah, he does rule.
I mean, I still think this is a very good Christopher Lee performance, but Telly Savalas steals it. He just steals the movie.
Well, because also Christopher Lee is like the badass in the movie.
Yeah.
Up until Telly Savalas shows up and just cucks him.
Yeah. So, and the rest of the cast is a lot of Spanish actors, because this was a Spanish production. Again, that's how we get Panico in El Transiberiano. Yeah, this was,
and also the only thing that can explain Christopher Lee's mustache in this movie is Spanish influence.
It's a good mustache.
It's a hell of a mustache.
This is a great movie because it has this very kind of epic scope to it. And it's playing, I'm not sure that it's set in 1972. It feels much more that it's like set in, the 1920s, 1930s, maybe.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. I was going to say this is like probably after World War I, but that's, but probably before World War II. It's probably in that period.
Yeah, I almost want to put it in like 1915 even, because just because of some of the characters we get, and this movie is just full of characters. That's one of the,
and the Rasputin.
Yes, the Rasputin.
Get a full on Rasputin.
Yeah, there's a full on Rasputin. And I think the just the Rasputin of it all, and then there's I just don't know my Russian history well enough. But I think the fact that they're still considered Cossacks means that they're still under Tsarist rule. So I want to put this more like 1915. But this has,
that makes sense.
This also has some of the flavor of, I don't remember history well enough. But this is also British occupation of Hong Kong. And
the influence of the garb especially makes sense.
Yeah, because
I mean, they're in Mongolia. They come so you don't know exactly where they're at, but like, yes, the overall British influence of everything makes sense.
Yeah, because we start with Christopher Lee. He is one of these Sir Edmund Hillary types out, exploring the mountains, and he finds a frozen man in the mountains of China.
Yeah, he's in Mongolia. He's dressed for the occasion. He went to the China store, went to the Mongolian store, got the most stereotypical hat he could buy.
And he finds this kind of frozen skeleton man, packs it up in a box, and then he's going to take it back with him to England, and he's going to study it and put it on I don't know, put it on display, whatever he's going to do with it, whatever it is the British were doing with stealing things from Asian countries at that time.
He does also suggest that like this is going to make him successful and rich and famous. I mean, you get the idea he's already wealthy, but like this is really going to make his career.
Right. And so we chip back to, after we leave the mountains, the film fast forwards itself to Peking, which is now known as Beijing. And he's, loading up. He's trying to get like passage on the train, the Trans-Siberian, and he's going to ride from Beijing through Russia into Europe. And, that's the way he's transporting his body. He is having a lot of travel issues. They're not letting him on. He's getting a little back talk from the Chinese.
Yeah, there's a local way of doing business that is quite corrupt, and he is not having it.
Yeah, he's pretty pissed about it. Like Peter
well, he's not even getting it at first.
Yeah.
He's kind of, it's just going over his head at first.
Yeah, he's not he's not in line with the locals. But he runs into Peter Cushing, and Peter Cushing's character is just like, he's just kind of like a doctor. Just kind of a doctor on excursion in China, and he has his little assistant with him. I think her name is also Dr. Jones. But
she's such a strange character that I just truly do not understand.
I love her.
Who she is, what she does. She has some great lines in this movie. Some don't make sense at all, but I do not know. She's just, I guess, his almost assistant in some way.
She's fully his assistant, but she's just so sassy.
But she's also a doctor and seems to have some, like, she's not a young doctor.
No.
She appears to be his age. And I don't know. I guess, you know, she even mentions at some point about, like, basically, like, I am his assistant because I'm a woman. She kind of makes like a comment about that kind of stuff.
I think that's more of the illusion than anything. But yeah, she's also just very sassy too. Like, she had, you know, like you said, she has some great lines, and that's just because she's being very sassy. So yeah, she's wonderful. But yeah, the two of them are there, and they're also, you know, getting passage on the same train, and Peter Cushing, you know, pays off kind of the station agent, and he makes a turn, and he turns to Christopher Lee, and he's like, "We call that the squeeze." And Christopher Lee is just, he's so prim and proper, and he's up, you know, like, straight laced, and he just kind of like, he doesn't like the way that things are going. He's like, "Oh, back in Britain, we call that bribery." And he just,
he's very self-righteous, but he's also, like, a little bit more of a tough guy, certainly compared to Peter Cushing. First of all, like, if anybody who's seen movies with him, Christopher Lee is a large gentleman. First of all, intimidating, big guy, tall, broad-shouldered. Also in real life, which we didn't get into, but genuine badass in real life. Whereas Peter Cushing, is kind of like he's a petite little actor man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you've got this big brooding, you know, Christopher Lee, and then you've got this little jaunty Peter Cushing. So, like, he does not like that, you know, he can throw his money around and get what he wants. But I do love the thing where he walks up and just throws all the railway, the corrupt railway guy just throws all his shit on the ground. He's like, "How about that, dickhead?"
Yeah. It's also just such a dickhead British way of doing it, because Christopher Lee takes his umbrella, which, you know, that's just like a very British accessory of having an umbrella.
Right.
And he just puts it across the desk and pushes all of his stuff off the desk with the umbrella. Yeah. Like, it's not a grand, like, Orson Welles arm sweep of, like, "Yeah, fuck you." It's just, "Yeah, how do you like that, you piece of shit?
Now your things are on the floor. How do you like that?
Pick them up, asshole." But then he gets saved by, you know, I mean, Christopher Lee gets his way, essentially, because a high-ranking, it's a British guy who is in charge of the police comes in and says, you know, "I have orders from General Wang." So, like, it's that kind of, again, it's that weird occupational, you know, hierarchy of, like, like, there's some Chinese guys at the very top, but, like, there's a lot of British officials that are high ranking, and so they have,
these would be those kind of officer class guys are all, you know, feet on the street, middle manager guys are all British.
Right. Yeah. So, but these guys come through, and they're basically like, you get your way, you know, make sure this British gentleman gets his things on this train to go back to Britain, because that's what we want. So, on the outside, while all this kind of, you know, dirt dealing is going on in the station agent office, you have a Chinese lockpick, and he's just going through, you know, various trunks and everything, and he tries to go through what Christopher Lee is transporting, and winds up dead on the station platform.
Super dead. His well, you explain what he looks like, but he's also the least conspicuous, or perhaps the most conspicuous is what I mean to say, thief ever. Like, before he picks the lock, he, like, stands on his tippy toes and makes his head go 360 around like an owl. Like, he's just so clearly a thief. But then, he gets his comeuppance pretty quickly.
I mean, he's clearly a thief, but also like the one detective that's with them like knows him, so like they know he's a thief. It's just kind of like a I don't know how you would put it, just like just a general hazard, you know, like
he's a local, he's just local riffraff. Like, this is going to happen. You know, we got thieves around. That's one of the usual suspects.
Yeah, like if you're a local to Peking, you would know to shoo him off, you know, but because nobody's really watching Christopher Lee's Trunks, they don't know to get him out of there. That's all it is.
Yeah. Yep.
This is also where we get introduced to our Rasputin-ish character. It is Father Pujarardov, played by a Spanish actor, Alberto de Mendoza. So I mean, he still looks the part. He looks like this ratty, you know, Rasputin-esque character. He's got the big Rasputin beard, long hair. He's got the robe, and he's just clearly like some sort of Orthodox, you know, priest is what he really is.
Yep. This guy, by the way, Alberto de Mendoza, shows up in a lot. Like you probably would. He's got a lot of, I don't say makeup on, but he's got a beard. He's got like I think it's fake. It doesn't look real, but he is in a lot of spaghetti westerns. He's in a handful of notable giallo flicks as well. So he will show up from time to time. He is just kind of a generic handsome guy. I did not recognize him because of, again, the beard and the sweaty bloodshot bulging eyes and shit. They make him. I mean, it is literally like he's dressed up as Rasputin for Halloween.
Yeah. So it's good, but yeah, like you said, he does show up in, you know, a bunch of those, you know, spaghetti westerns of the 60s and shit like that. So yeah. Yeah, he's I mean, I'm sure in Spain, big celebrated actor. He has a lot of credits, but just not somebody you may recognize, and especially not in this film because of, you know, like you said.
No, I didn't until I saw the credit. Yeah. He's got a foolproof plan to tell whether a box is evil, though. I will say that. It's so stupid. He's like, there's something right away. He's got the vibe something's evil in there, which, to his credit, he's not wrong.
Right.
But he's like, but he has the worst way of proving it to like the authorities. He's like, look, and he pulls up a piece of chalk, draws a cross. He's like, that box has something evil in it, and it won't like accept the symbol of the cross. So he takes out a piece of chalk, draws on the like brick floor. He draws a cross, and like, see, cross. Then he goes and draws on the tarp that is covering the box, and he writes on it, and it doesn't show up. And you're like, yeah, because you tried to draw on a white tarp with white chalk, you dumbass.
You fucking asshole. How do you know that it would go on canvas or not?
It's the stupidest like exercise I've ever seen.
Yeah, like,
he's like, oh shit, it's evil because I can't see white chalk on. What are you fucking talking about?
Why don't you try like drawing an O on it or something? Like, try anything.
Or drawing on the box.
Yeah.
Like, what do you? Yeah, it's just so dumb.
Yeah, lift up the tarp, jackass.
Yeah, just here's what you learn: don't ever trust a fucking shifty, glassy-eyed Russian fucking priest or whatever he is.
I feel like they call him Polish. Like I feel like they make this whole
could be. I just assumed I just assumed the whole Rasputin thing, but yeah.
I think they were kind of purposely like dodging that, you know, because again his name's Pujarardov, and because he's also traveling with the Countess Irina Petrovsky and Count Marian Petrovsky, and I believe they're all supposed to be Polish.
Gotcha.
And there is an interaction later where I believe it's between the Count and Christopher Lee, but they're talking about how like Britain sold them out to the Russians. So they're not fully Russian, but they're talking about how like, I think, you know, they're talking about how like Poland was sold out to the Russians.
Sure.
In some way. So they have this confrontation about the cross and everything, and then they're like, get out of here, you fucking mystic. Yucky.
Get out of here, sweaty, you stink.
Yeah, load my box on the train. Get this shit out of here.
Yeah.
But yeah, everybody loads up on the train, and then we get introduced to just like a whole host of like characters, which is what I really liked about this film. is that all these people, it feels like, an Agatha Christie murder mystery.
Yeah, it has very, I mean, aside from the obvious, it's very reminiscent of like Murder on the Orient Express.
Yeah, because, we have counts and countesses. We have Christopher Lee, who is like this adventuring scientist. And we have, the medical doctor, Peter Cushing. And then we meet like an engineer. And there's, there's the international spy. That's who I was trying to think of.
Yes. Which her subplot ends abruptly.
Yeah.
Don't ever actually really know what the fuck she was trying to do, to be honest.
I think her subplot ends abruptly, but I think it's what carries all the way through to the end of the movie to make it make sense. Because I don't think what the ending is based upon what is happening on the train at the time. It's based upon her.
Okay, I might have missed that. We'll wait till we get to the end because I don't remember that part.
Yeah, I might have missed something too, but I feel like the way it ends is based on her, and they just so happen to stop the evil.
Sure, could be. That makes sense. It doesn't feel intentional. Yeah, it feels on accident.
Yeah.
We also should say, we'll get into but this is the Thing, right? Except for painfully British.
Yes, this is British Thing after the Thing that wouldn't die, but before, the Thing. Yeah. And so I think this film has, probably a lot of influence on John Carpenter's Thing.
It's weird. It's not an infection type. It's not an organism that jumps. Like, it actually is more singular. It has to kind of jump from person to person as opposed to just like infecting everybody, taking over.
Yeah, until it isn't.
Yeah,
that's also
the rules are vague. The rules are confusing of what this thing can and can't do. It also has no lips and can whistle. So I mean, what the fuck? I mean,
it changes.
Yeah,
I think that might have just been coming through the nose hole, Brian.
You think he's making all those different tones, those beautiful, clear, crisp tones, by nose whistles?
Yeah, he was a Mongolian throat singing ape man. So he's doing all kinds of different tones through his face.
It's just funny to make a creature that very clearly has no lips is established from the first time you see it as a fucking frozen, specimen. It has no lips, and the one of its defining characteristics is it whistles. Fucking so stupid.
Here's how it goes. It goes that inside the box there is a frozen ape man, and the frozen ape man has some sort of infectious parasite disease, some sort of living amoeba of some sort that is taken over the Thing's body.
Yeah.
And what we saw when it killed the thief on the station platform is that anytime it kills somebody, it boils their eyes and brains and steals all of their memories and knowledge.
Yes.
And so,
and it's got spooky red eyes,
and it does it with spooky red eyes.
Yeah.
And so we get this creature that is constantly building its strength and building its knowledge. And so it learns how to whistle. It also learns how to lockpick. And we get a pretty great scene of Peter Cushing again paying off somebody and telling this baggage claim guy, he's like, hey man, if you just happen to drill a hole in this box to look what's inside of it, that's cool. Here's, a couple bucks for your time and trouble.
There is 10 people in this movie that look like Peter Lorre, by the way.
Yeah.
He's one of them.
A bunch of Peter Lorre. And they're all Spanish.
Yeah, he's one of them.
There's a whole bunch of Spanish Peter Lorre.
Also, the Dr. Jones, or whatever her name is, the assistant, she's female Peter Lorre.
She's a lady Lorre.
Yeah, there's a lot of Peter Lorre. I saw that on a review on Letterboxd of somebody saying, I think they held a Peter Lorre lookalike contest and hired everybody. I was like, that's funny.
Yeah, they cast. I mean, obviously, it's not hard to cast shorter than Christopher Lee.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but I think they also cast shorter than Peter Cushing.
Yeah, and
then
they're
that's
about
how
a
you
fucking
get-
foot difference.
Yeah, and so like that's how you wind up with all these people who are, because you have these ladies who have to be shorter than Peter Cushing,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have all these baggage handlers and everything who are shorter than him.
Yeah.
But yeah, baggage handler goes to do the dirt, and this is while you see the ape man picking the lock.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
which the assumption is he learned
that's
how
weird.
to do that by consuming the whatever brain juice, doing the brain drain on the thief back at the station.
Mm-hmm. And then he tries to break out, and then he gives the baggage claim guy, he gives him the eye,
Mm-hmm.
and now he's got baggage claim knowledge.
Yeah, he knows where everyone's baggage is, and but when he does the brain drain on him too, we should mention it makes all their head holes bleed.
Yes.
So their eyes, their
Yeah.
nose, their mouth, their ears, everything just starts bleeding.
It also, I don't know how intentional it was for the effect, but like they put white over contacts in as their eyes are boiled, but like sometimes they're really puffed out around the irises, so
Mhm.
it does look like their eyes are being boiled and inflated.
I think it's just
like it's pretty cool effect.
really thick,
contact
technology from back then. Like they were just really thick, but it is funny how they have to explain these things. Like at one point, Peter Cushing is like, "Look at that fish's eye." And they're like, "Well, it's because it was boiled, of course." And you're like, "Oh, now we know why their eyes do that." It's like, it's a real tell don't show situation.
Yeah. I mean, it does give him a clue to go, do other things, but yeah. Station agent gets killed, and then, there's a mystery afoot.
Mm-hmm.
And, we have this detective who's on the train with them, and he kind of leads like the general guard of the train.
Yep.
Which
for some reason they're the weapon they choose to carry to protect the train is like a long rifle with a bayonet, which is not that valuable in close quarters combat.
Not terribly. I mean, I guess you could just run down the hall and get somebody.
Yeah, what, shish kebab people? Yeah, it's just literally anything would be better than what they have.
This is the other thing that kind of leads to that kind of World War One, maybe even pre-World War One type, that kind of armament is just so, like
that's
not
what
World
soldiers
War II.
have. Yeah, that's what World War One soldiers have.
Yeah.
A long ass rifle, open sights, bayonet. It's trench warfare.
Yeah, trench warfare on the train.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, they go back to the compartment, and Peter Cushing's like, "Hey, I paid this guy off, and he didn't show up again. So like, don't investigate that crime though. Like, what's in the box?"
Yeah, he's very brazen about it. He's like, I mean, I gave him some dollars to fucking peek on your box. That's all.
So yeah, they open up the box. Station baggage guy's in there.
The best part, this is maybe my favorite part of the movie. I don't know why I like cackled out loud at this, but they're like, "All right, dickhead, open the box." And Peter or Christopher Lee is very indignant about it. He's like, "No, you assholes." Like, he's very protective, but he's also just being indignant and like, "No, we're not opening my box because you think I did something I did. Like, what do you think I did?" kind of thing, So he's being a dick about it. And they're like, basically like, "Give me the key." And they like have one of the soldiers like rear up the butt of his rifle like he's gonna hit him with the butt of his rifle, and Christopher Lee holds the key out and then just goes yoink and throws it out the window.
He throws it out the window. Yeah.
Something about, because it just took me by such surprise, and the fact that the window is right there and he just perfectly threw it out the window. It's just something about it which is so funny to me. When he threw that key out the window, I like blurted out laughing.
He's such a dickhead in the early goings of this film, which I think is a good like progression, because he showed, we didn't talk about it much, with the Wicker Man, but But I like in trying to pick a movie for this showdown, I was trying to find like a movie where Christopher Lee is like showing off his true acting ability.
Sure.
Boy, those Dracula films, I know they're celebrated, but I'm going to say something controversial. Christopher Lee doesn't do a lot of acting. he does a lot of staring.
I have never been. I love a lot of Hammer movies, but I like a lot of the one-offs, weird ones and shit. I am not a big fan of the Christopher Lee Dracula films. I admittedly have not seen them all. I think they're all charming in the same way, but they blend together for me. Because there's not a lot of acting happening on the part of Christopher Lee. It is mostly Van Helsing.
Yeah. Which is usually Peter Cushing. So,
right, exactly.
So, yeah. But like, I really, I like the satanic rites of Dracula, but Lee is barely in that movie. He has one really good showdown scene with Peter Cushing, but he's barely in it. And then the 1970 Count Dracula film is very good. And you can see how a lot of that film actually inspired the most recent Nosferatu.
Yes, for sure.
Because you have like some great scenes between Dracula and just sitting in the castle, and he's explaining like, their lineage of like how the Draculas are the ones who turn back the Turks, and they're the ones who turn back all the other invaders of Europe, like how strong they are. Also, Christopher Lee has a sick ass mustache in that one as well.
He does. I mean, perhaps the greatest. Well, maybe not, because there's what's his name in Bram Stoker's Dracula has. I was going to say best
Gary Oldman
mustachioed vampire, but no, Gary Oldman probably takes that.
Yeah. I mean, I might even just give it to Bill Skarsgård now from Nosferatu.
Sure. Oh yeah. Oh, he had a hell of a mustache. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, but his is totally inspired by
Christopher Lee's.
Christopher Lee's, because it has that Fu Manchu nature of where it like goes out and then down the cheeks, and then like throughout that 70s film, you can actually watch it like get younger and darker, because like as Dracula feeds, he becomes younger. So like that 1970 film is good. And it obviously influences Nosferatu. It influences what's the Werner Herzog one? Shadow of the Vampire.
Is it Shadow of the Vampire? I thought it was just Vampire.
It might just be Vampire, but it influences that one obviously because Klaus Kinski is in both of them. So there's a lot of good things in that one.
Oh gosh, what is it called? Now I'm getting it mixed up. Oh, it's Nosferatu the Vampire. Yeah, we were kind of both right.
Oh yeah. Nosferatu the Vampire. Yeah. So, but the problem with that one is those first kind of scenes are great with Lee, but then it falls apart towards the end because it's just a lot of him showing up, staring, biting a woman, and then disappearing. That's a lot of the Hammer films.
True. And I actually just coincidentally just put on, because I have my DVD box set of all the Universal horror movies on. So I just watched The Mummy and I just popped in Dracula. And that's what you get from Bela Lugosi too. It's a lot of staring, you know. So it's influenced by that as well. But I mean, he's obviously an amazing performer, but I agree that those aren't the best showcase of it.
Yeah, those aren't his best roles. So like, I came down to this one, and there's another film, End of the World, where he actually plays two roles. But again, it just felt like he wasn't in the movie enough for it. So I was just kind of like, all right, I'll go with this one. Back to where we are on the train. Lee throws the keys. I did want to go back real quick just to another very funny and indignant scene is it's Peter Cushing and this international spy character.
Yeah.
And she's a stowaway on the train, and she's like begging Cushing for, a place to sleep. And he's like, she's hot. So obviously he's like, yeah, okay, that's fine. And then Christopher Lee barges in, and just in a very, like, it's a very comedy setup.
Yeah.
That they are sharing a room.
Right.
And
it's literally they have like a top bunk, bottom bunk argument. Like it's
yeah. Like, yeah, Peter Cushing holds out his ticket and he's like, I think you're in the wrong car. You see, this is, berth A, or room 8, berth A. And, Christopher Lee puts out his ticket and he's like, I know, it's room 8, berth B, top bunk. And then throws his shit on the top bunk and is just like, Peter Cushing's like, come on, man, you're like harshing the vibe in here.
He's like, don't be care. Cool, you're cock blocking me here.
Yeah, like, and can you not see I'm in the middle of something?
Christopher Lee could not give 2 fucks. He's just like, I don't care what you're trying to accomplish here.
Yeah, he's like, I get the top bunk. I'm tall and I'll go up here as I please. But yeah, after this scene where he throws the key, they just break open the box with an axe, reveal the body, and then they put him under arrest. So Christopher Lee has to go to train jail for a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that there's train jail. I love a train movie in general, but man, if you get a train jail, golly, love that.
Yeah. Which apparently train jail is just like a really cushy room. One of the underrated things about this is the sets in this are really good. I don't know if they just used an actual train, but everything is that, again, it's the 1920s, 1930s, somewhere in there, 1910s, and everything is that kind of like Gilded Age, like highfalutin, hoity-toity. Everything has curtains. Everything has plush cushion everywhere.
Yeah,
like it looks very rich, but it helps sell the movie.
It does.
Like, it doesn't.
The dining car is very ornate. Everyone's drinking champagne and dressed to the nines for dinner, and yeah, it's a cool environment. It reminds me of, like you mentioned, like Murder on the Orient Express or something like that.
Yeah. Which, again, I really think they were trying to tie that together and make you think that. And that works all the way up until, like, Peter Cushing has this, revelation about the eyeballs, and then they find, another body, and they send him to go do an autopsy. And he does this autopsy with his friend, his assistant, Dr. Jones, and again, another kind of great line by her. He's like, I need your help with something. And she looks at the table he's sitting at with the international spy.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I'm sure you do. As in, you can't get your dick up because you're old.
She goes like, at your age, I'm sure you do, or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Suggesting that, like, he is asking her to fluff him up or something? Like, what?
Some sort of help. Like, she needs to guide it in for him or hold it for him.
Or she needs him to fluff it a little bit, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Some sort of way.
And he's like, no, and she's like, oh, yeah. She is like an unsuspecting comedic performance.
Yeah. There's a lot of good, like, kind of funny bits, but it's not, it's not played for comedy. It's just like, people are just sassy and shitty to each other. But yeah, they do the autopsy. They cut open this guy's brain, and they find the brain is smooth.
Smooth fish brain. Yeah.
Yeah, just boiled out, and I don't think this science actually adds up.
No, I don't believe so. He's like, well, he's like, well, all the wrinkles on the brain, those are your memories.
Yeah,
like, it's just it's so dumb.
Yeah, all the wrinkles in your brain, those are formed by memories, and if it gets boiled out, then your brain smooths out, and then he's like, it looks like somebody stole his memories. It's like,
yeah, that's I am not a doctor. I almost guarantee that's not how that works.
Yeah. This is a whole
your memories. Like if you were to iron the brain, the memories go away. Like, I don't think that's how it works. That seems like some like fucking 17th century, folk medicine.
Yeah. There's a lot of nonsense and gobbledygook as far as science goes. Like they even admittedly, are saying like this is pre-rocket technology, because they're talking to they're talking to an engineer at one point who's on the train, and it's actually the space monster in disguise. He's talking to the engineer and he's asking about rocket technology, and he's like, yeah, no, we don't have rockets, there's no way to escape yet, we can't escape Earth yet. And the alien's just like, fuck. Yes.
Shit.
Yeah. But before that, there is a scene where the Peter Cushing and the detective discover that the ape monster is out and about and still on the train. They originally thought it had escaped and jumped off the train after it killed the baggage guy, but no, it's still out there, still stealing memories. And
it's sliding in and out of windows. Yeah. It's picking locks. It is essentially the Solid Snake of, alien inhabited prehistoric undead Mongolian zombies.
Yeah. I mean, it's riding on top of the train for the most part. That's why nobody sees it. But like, who's going to go out and look at the top of the Trans-Siberia as it's running through, cold ass Russia? It's snowing outside and it's dark. Nobody's going to look there for it.
No.
But yeah, this detective catches it, shoots it, and in that time, it transfers its consciousness into the detective's brain, and it becomes the detective. And so, this isn't completely clear to us at first. I mean, it obviously becomes clear later, but we have this detective who's now running around, and he has all the memories of everybody else he's subsumed, including like the international spy and the lockpick and all, baggage claim guy, and now he has this detective's brain. So yeah, the film kind of continues through that, and then the detective and the Rasputin get into a bit of a, like, I don't know, not a tryst fully, but it is, Rasputin begins to follow him around like a puppy dog because he senses the evil in him.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a lot of guys battling for mustache supremacy, I think, between those two. Christopher Lee, they're all trying to be the big mustache on campus.
Yeah. The more mustache you have, the more likely to be evil that you are. Like, Christopher Lee has just kind of your standard mustache, and that only makes him a little bit evil. That's what makes him like indignant.
He's like a dick.
Yeah, he's a dick.
Yeah,
it's what leads him to bring the Iceman on board to begin with. The Iceman, fully covered in hair, most evil.
Yeah, huge dick.
Yeah, huge dick. The detective, he has the mustache with the mutton chops, so obviously escalation of evil. And then Rasputin, full beard, full evil.
Yeah. Yep. It's a good indication. Yeah. It's just a little litmus test about evil.
Yep. They do another kind of autopsy work on one of the bodies, and they suck out the eye juice. And
yeah, don't they like, I forget this. I didn't write down the note, but isn't it the eye of the creature? Like of not the creature, but the
Iceman.
The Iceman. Yeah.
Yeah. They suck out the juice of the Iceman eye, and they put it under a microscope.
This is the dumbest part of the whole movie.
And in that, they can just see its memories.
Not only can they see his memories, but they're like printed images of dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs, a printed image of the Earth from space, which again hasn't been captured yet.
Yeah. And they're like coloring book images almost, or like something you would see from a textbook, like illustrations. They're not even like live, true to life images. They look like illustrations from a early 20th century textbook. But that is the visual representation of his memories.
Yeah, the creature's memories are imprinted in its blood as book pictures. And I couldn't help but think of like the Kung Pao scene where he's just going over the paintings and he's just like, tiger, 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 bird. That's what
he's like. They're literally like, at one point they're like, that's a pterodactyl.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. They're like, pterodactyl. Hey, that's the planet.
It's so fucking stupid. I don't know why it needed to be in there. I get it that in these movies, like, they like to have, we'll get to it in the next movie too, but they like to have some gross out scenes,
right?
And they have this eyeball that they're like cutting into, and it even looks like it might be an actual eyeball, like a human eyeball,
but like a pig eye,
an
maybe
animal's eyebrow, yeah. So they want a couple gross out scenes, so that's what they're trying to accomplish here. But the science is so stupid.
Yeah, the science is,
I love it.
Like, they could have just found, like, they could have, I don't know, made some gobbledygook up about the cells in the eye were not just 2 million years old, but like they're 100 million years old, or like there's
or they're just not human.
Cell structures they've never seen before, not book pictures of dinosaurs.
It's just like, so I could literally give you 10 minutes. I could come up with 20 better ideas.
Yeah, there's so many better solves to that.
Oh God.
But yes, this is Rasputin gets a look at that eye, gooped as well, and I think this is where he kind of finally gets turned. After he starts following the detective, he steals the eye for him, and it's weird because he like goes from this orthodox religious guy into just this full on let me worship the ice ape man type shit.
Yeah. He flips pretty quick. I mean, he's here to be fanatical about something. He doesn't really care what.
Yeah. So this is where it gets a little confusing for me, and where I think maybe we're not on the same page as how this happens. But
no, I'll be honest with you. The movie started to lose me about now, and then Kojak showed up, and then I was like, oh, Kojak. And then I was on board when Kojak was on screen, but then when Kojak went off screen again, I was like, all right, no more Kojak. And I started getting bored again.
So on the train, they're doing kind of like a thing investigation. They gather everybody together and they're looking into their eyes with not a microscope, but a magnifying glass.
Glass.
Yeah. Off the train, we get this cut to this bum-ass Trans-Siberian train station that does not look attached to a town or anything. It is just a place you get shipped. And
it's an outpost. Yeah.
And they had...
Speaking of the thing, it is an outpost.
Yeah, it's an outpost out in the snow. And they have a telegraph machine running with this old guy, and he's reading a telegraph. And I guess this is the confusing part, is the telegraph isn't coming from the train, right? It's coming from like Moscow, or because I took it as
that's what I thought. I thought it was, I didn't think it was coming from I didn't take it as it was coming from the train.
Yeah, because the train has not been able to report in any way that they have a monster on board. I suspected that this telegraph it's about the spy that's on the train, and she's I guess you're probably right. I didn't put too much thought into it, but yeah, I never got the idea that, and I don't know shit about telegraph technology, but how could they do a telegraph from a train? Yeah, because usually I think if you were communicating off a train, you would you would stop at one of these stations. And you'd have to link in to one of the stations to a telegraph wire. Yeah, right? And you could deliver a message that's faster than the train, up ahead of the train, because that's what they're doing here. Is Moscow is contacting this station to let them know that the train is going to be there in 14 minutes, or whatever. And Telly Savalas is under a fucking animal skin rug with a woman. And like he's literally just next to this desk banging out this lady as this guy, as these other soldiers are just huddled around the telegraph machine.
Yeah. He is the master of his own little universe here, and in his little universe is this little fucking weird Siberian outpost.
Yeah. So yeah, he rules. Telly Savalas makes his grand entrance, and like even in this scene, like he's stealing the scene. He's like just running down this little dude. He's just calling him, "Come here, little papa. Let me see this." And he's like lighting cigarettes and blowing smoke in his face and shit. Telly Savalas absolutely fucking rules.
Well, he showed up just as on set as just a big swinging dick, right? He tries I guess vaguely Cossack it almost sounds a little bit like, I'm trying to think of the name of it, from that one weird ass Rankin Bass special where there's like the guy that has the iron horse that he rides. You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
He's got that accent. I can't remember. All I can think of is Meisterburger, but no, that's a different special. It's the guy that has the iron horse. I think it might be like Rudolph Shiny New Year or some dumb shit. Anyway, he's kind of doing that accent, but it's 40% that and then 60% just Kojak.
Yeah.
He's just fading in and out.
Yeah, he is definitely not trying to put on like the Dostoevsky, like he's not trying to do that at all. He is.
He tries it like 3 times for 5 seconds, and then he's just like, "Oh,
yeah,
who loves me, baby?"
Yeah.
I was waiting for the lollipop to pop. I really was like, he's just gonna pull out the fucking lollipop any second.
He's doing cigarettes. he's doing cigarettes. He's doing little stogies in this one, but yeah, him and all his boys board the train, and he just literally gets on and is just like, everybody's under arrest.
Yeah, there's no type of like protocol here. He's just like, we're gonna get to the bottom of this. All right, assholes, line up. We're gonna start shooting people.
Like it's literally the detective who is possessed by the monster. He's coming up against some just a little grate there, and he's like, "Hey, Your Excellency, I'm the police inspector here." And Telly Savalas' reply is, "You're all under arrest." Like he doesn't.
Now you're double arrested.
Yeah. Just could not give a shit. And then he gets into this fight with Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing, and God, this is great. Is he just goes up to him and like he's like, you English, you believe in free speech, don't you? And they're like, they give him a little bit of backsass, and he just starts walking away as if it didn't bother him. And he grabs the arm of one of his own soldiers and uses it to throw the butt of the gun into Christopher Lee's stomach. Like it is such a
doesn't grab the weapon and hit him himself. Doesn't punch him. Uses him like an articulated, G.I. Joe doll to hit Christopher Lee with the gun.
Yeah, hits him right in the breadbasket and just doubles him over.
I have this feeling that Christopher Lee hated Telly Savalas on the set. Like he probably was like, who is this little fucking goomba? I'm gonna beat the shit out of him. Like coming in here like he fucking owns the place. Like I could imagine them butting heads.
There is like this body language with the way like he's just standing with his arms crossed. Like, yeah, maybe it's his character, or maybe they just really hate the fact that he is upstaging everybody, because he is this train scene is so similar to the way not Jared Leto, Heath Ledger makes his grand entrance in that Batman movie in The Dark Knight.
Oh
yeah, and he's just like
in the restaurant or in the kitchen or whatever,
in the party scene where he's just going around harassing everybody.
Oh yes, that I was thinking about with all the villains. Yes, I know what you mean.
But yeah, the way he's just harassing everybody in that restaurant scene or party scene or whatever It's the same scene. Like Telly Savalas is going person by person and just doing a bit of business with everybody and getting in everybody's face. Like he's in this one, American woman's face, and she's like, "I'm American. I'm not used to this." And he's like, "How about that, baby?"
Yeah.
So, but yeah, the way this turns out, again, everybody's under arrest, and Telly Savalas is, puts, except for the Countess, the Rasputin stand-in, but he even has like this business with the Rasputin stand-in where the guy is like, he's holding up the cross, and he comes up to it and he gives it like a little kiss, and then he tells him to get on his knees, and he starts whipping the monk like.
Yeah, he's like been just itching for someone to show up with some action for a while. You know?
He is just out. He is out for everybody. Like he needs everybody to know that he is in charge, not God, not the other police, not the English, not the Americans.
Yeah. Who's wearing the Santa Claus jacket?
Yeah, exactly.
I am. I'm the man in charge.
Telly Savalas is doing all his big dicking and everything, and then finally, as he's sending everybody away, the detective reveals himself to be possessed and tries to make a run for it, and smoothest as silk, he fucking throws a knife in his back and then shoots him.
Yeah. It's pretty great.
But this is where, the detective, as he's dying, he passes his power on to Rasputin, and it's funny because Rasputin was so, like a man of God, a feared of evil, and all that type of shit. He so just easily turns, and he's just like, "Give me the power. I want the power now."
give me the money. I want the money. Yeah, you get the idea that he was like kind of like weak constitution, and he's just easily turned.
Yeah. Like the moment he gets proof of something else, he's just like, he's all on board. He's like, yeah, hell yeah, dude. I'm in for it. Yeah. I'll worship you. I understand now.
Yeah, my bad. In
this kerfuffle of, Telly Savalas's boys having a shootout with the Rasputin, Christopher Lee sends everybody to the back baggage car, and then he realizes, oh, there's that hot countess. She's still up front. Nuts.
Forgot about her. Forgot about her.
Dang it. She was really hot and she was into me. I better go collect her.
Shit. I got to go get her. Yeah.
But yeah, as he does, all the other Cossacks and Telly Savalas, they get dispatched. They get killed by Rasputin, through various guns and, red eye means. He just basically just goes through these train cars, just giving them the death stare, and they all die. He goes up to the Rasputin has been having this like jealous kind of unrequited love with the Countess, and she is attractive, and he is trying to get with her, and she looks like him as a dirty dog because he looks like a dirty dog.
Yeah, he's grimy as fuck. Yeah, that's the right reaction to him.
So he's been saving her up front, and I think he had machinations of trying to get with her, but that isn't going to happen because here comes Christopher Lee to save the day, and he has a gun and he's ready to use it, and there is this standoff where the creature explains what he is, and he tries to inform, Christopher Lee, like, hey, he appeals to his, man of science, that, hey, dude, check it out. I have been around forever, and if you kill me, you're going to destroy like a historical record of the entire world.
It's a real long shot. He shoots his very last round he has in the chamber.
He basically says, "Hey, I'm the ooze from the beginning of Prometheus. Did you see that movie? No, it's 1972. Damn it."
Oh fuck! You didn't see that yet. All right. Well, I'm a science. Yeah. You'll be doing a scientific disservice if you kill me.
Yeah. And then he goes on. He goes to say, like, I can teach you all these things. I can teach you how to cure disease, as you know most aliens love to do. They love to say, hey, we're going to cure disease for you as a bargaining chip.
Yeah.
Please don't shoot me with that double-barreled shotgun, which I know will fucking Kurt Cobain me all over the back of that train car.
Yeah, it is funny though for an alien to claim like I can solve all your problems, but also you could kill me with that shotgun.
Right. We're still sort of vulnerable.
It's just really talking out of both sides of your mouth.
Yeah. And then
if you're all powerful, why are you begging right now?
Yeah. And then he says, and I have one last trick, and in that he reanimates all of the bodies of all the people he just killed, like all the Cossacks, the Count, Telly Savalas. He brings them all back like as zombies. And this leads to like a chase through the train cars as Christopher Lee, gets the Countess and they run back towards the back of the train car. And we get another scene where it's another Siberian outpost and they get a telegraph that says, stop the train. And they are aware of it and they're like, hey, that's going to kill everybody on the train. And, this is obviously, very Russian, like, life is not, life doesn't matter type of thing. But
sure.
Like, again, it's just like a curious thing of like, did they consider that Telly Savalas like hadn't wrapped everything up? Like, how would they make that decision that like, it's time to destroy the train?
Yeah, they don't know what happened. It's not like somebody's been, communicating updates to them.
Was it like a matter of like they missed a train station and because Telly Savalas didn't get off at the next train station to wire back? Like,
they assumed things went sideways?
Yeah, like maybe it was that. Or maybe, again, this is why I hinge it on the spy. Maybe they just made a further decision of like, oh, that spy is really, really dangerous. So we're willing to
kill the entire train full of people.
Yeah, maybe. Like, yeah, I think that's what
that seems far-fetched even for cold-hearted Russians in Siberia. But yeah, I don't know. I took this as a little bit of a plot hole of just like, hey, how would they know what's happening? Yeah.
I mean, I think that's the way it is like, it is just a plot hole. But I think if you try to link it to the spy, at least, because you can make arguments that some governments have exploded some planes to thwart peace talks in Africa in the past. Possibly.
Sure, but like, it doesn't feel like they. Yeah, I guess if this is some sort of high profile spy, I don't know. I just think, especially, which we're about to get to, how the movie ends. I just think they're trying to wrap this fucking movie up.
Yeah. Because the other side of it is, once they get towards the back of the train car, Peter Cushing is already trying to uncouple the baggage car that everybody is hiding in.
Yeah.
Nobody told him to do that. He just decided, I'm going to do that. I'm doing that.
Yeah, I'm going to take this upon myself. It's a real executive decision.
Yeah, it wasn't a thing where like Christopher Lee was like, if I'm not back in 15 minutes, uncouple this car. And nobody on the train would know that what is about to happen is that this upcoming station is going to switch tracks on them and send the entire thing off a cliff. So
here's a question that deserves posing. Why do they got a track that goes off a cliff?
Again, Russian disrespect of life.
I think if they would have said, "Oh, we're switching to a track but there's a bridge out," right, and the bridge has collapsed or whatever, and you're going to get launched into a ravine, I'll be like, "Oh, okay, this is the middle of goddamn nowhere. Bridges collapse. It takes a long time to whatever." But it appears to be a set of tracks that was built and abruptly ends at the edge of a cliff in the most Looney Tunes of fashions.
Yeah. See, I think this is the old school version of like we have truck runaway ramps, right? But they don't send the truck into a ravine and kill the driver. I think this is the same thing. They have train runaway ramps, but they absolutely don't care about killing a train full of people as long as it doesn't hit a city. Like a runaway train.
Sure.
I think that's just the old school way of solving it. They are far more.
It's the ejector seat for the train.
Yeah. They're far more okay with killing like 80 people on a train than 180 people at a city, I guess. I don't know.
I guess it's very abrupt. It doesn't make any in the scope of the film. It just feels like a very convenient way to wrap things up very quickly.
Yeah. They're also like the guys at the station. They're like, well, is it war? It must be war. So I don't know. Maybe they just did have Looney Tune traps set up for, trains that would be carrying munitions across the country. Like if maybe they were set up so if Russia ever decided to split off into two Russias, they could crash the trains trying to supply one Russia.
I guess so. We're doing a lot of explaining for a real dumb ending.
A lot of heavy lifting.
Yeah.
But yeah, otherwise, that's how you wrap up your creature feature. You send all the train cars off the edge of the cliff. They all crash and explode. And then the ones with the heroes kind of slowly creeps to the edge of the cliff so they can look over the edge and look at their work that they didn't do. Because they were actually saved by two just lonely Russians in a train station.
Yeah, randomly just been sitting there smoking and eating beef jerky for 10 months, and now they saved the day. I'll add a couple quick things. Like this is my first time watch for me. I think there were fun performances. I'll even say 2/3 of this movie I was on board with. I was interested. I lost, I started to lose things when the whole, kind of Inquisition started. And then I was back on board with Telly Savalas for a few minutes. And then he got a lot of quality Christopher Lee in there, which is great. And we talked about, I love the train setting. Yeah. And I think there's memorable characters, which is great because there's a lot of characters, so they could very easily get lost. But they're mostly memorable characters. My two biggest gripes is the creature design sucks.
Yeah,
looks like dog shit.
Well, I think the Iceman sucks, but like when it gets to Rasputin with the red eyes, that kind of rules. That's good.
Yeah, that's okay. That's just a prosthetic thing over their eyes. What movie did we watch not that long ago where people got like swollen, puffy eyes and right before something bad happened? I forget. Boy, we were just talking about this. And then a bunch of people kept getting the pink eyes. I don't know. I'll remember it. But yeah, that was okay.
It's the William Shatner, Ernest Borgnine movie.
Oh yeah, it was. I
wanted to
Satan's Claw.
No, I almost wanted to say House of the Devil, and that's not right either. The Devil's Reign.
The Devil's Reign. Yes, it was the Devil's Reign where everyone got puffy eyes. Yeah, so he gets Devil's Reign. He's got the Devil's Reign prosthetic basically, but with glowing red eyes. That was fine. The Iceman, which is the creature for most of the time. A huge portion of it, you just see a hairy arm reaching out, which is literally the most like Ed Wood B movie dumb shit of just like a gorilla arm coming out, right? But then when you do see it, part of his face is supposed to be like kind of, I guess, decomposed or whatever, but it's like teeth. It's like a mouth without lips, but it doesn't move at all. It just looks like a weird, like, cheap skeleton, and the rest of it looks like an ape. I don't know. The creature design fucking blows, I think. If you just put a damn monkey man on there, you know what I mean? Put one of the freaking Geico cavemen on there, it's going to be fine, right? But I didn't like that. And also the ending is just complete and utter dog shit.
I do think that The ending doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And I think it's a thing where they got confused because they were making a movie in 1972, but they forgot it was occurring before telephones and before like radios that were effective, in ways that they could just radio out. And then they didn't include those scenes of radioing out to let them know, hey, there's a dang monster and it killed Telly Savalas. What do we do now?
I feel like this feels like they had a script and they had a setting, like, okay, we got this script and we got a train, an old steam engine, and the script is meant to happen in the 70s, but the train looks like a train from the early 20th century. So let's do a period piece and we'll figure out the whole communication thing later. And they just kind of never figured it out.
Again, it's also, you gotta remember, it is a Spanish film done in English. And this is also, the time of, the spaghetti westerns and the giallo films that just don't make a whole lot of sense. They love vibes, but they don't love explaining.
Yeah. They don't like to let plot get in the way of a good story.
Yeah. So, I think there's a case of that. They're just like, hey, man, I don't know. We kind of wrote a script, but like, you can't read it. It's in a different language, but we can give you your lines.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Otherwise, though, I do believe this is one of the few movies where Christopher Lee actually gets to outshine Peter Cushing when they're both together. Usually, Peter Cushing gets to do more because, like we said, he's usually Van Helsing, and Christopher Lee as Dracula does a lot of staring. In this case, I think the way Christopher Lee gets to be an indignant ass, to him, and gets to do his little bits of like, I get the top bunk, and he gets to save the girl at the end, and has the final confrontation with the monster. This is all good Christopher Lee getting to act and show range. Like, even his opening narration, he's very dour about, you're about to hear a story about how a bunch of shit went bad. And then when you first see him, like, that's not his tone at all. He's very much just like, I'm an Englishman. I get to do English boy things. And everybody listen to me. I'm not going to take this from the Chinese.
Yeah, it is. I agree. We get to see a lot of Christopher Lee, a lot of him doing a lot of different things. Overall, I liked it. Like I said, first time watch for me. I thought it was fun. I thought it dragged and kind of fell apart in the last act a little bit. But as far as there was some hot, sweet Christopher Lee action. I can't argue with that. Two
notes for the end. There's one in which Christopher Lee is explaining evolution to that countess, and she takes an indignant tone about evolution.
She's like, that's immoral or whatever.
And it's like, just leave it to the Polish to be so dumb they think evolution is a sin. It's one of my notes.
Well, he also goes, she's like, evolution is immoral. And he goes, it's a fact, ma'am. And facts are not moral or immoral. Yeah. They're just facts. Yeah. He's like such a flaming prick in the most proper British way.
Like, he is obviously trying to score with this woman, but he is not going to let her talk mess about what
Yeah. I don't want to hear about your immoral shit. I will do myself a disservice and then rebuild it back up before I let you say shit like that.
And then there's I believe it's a confrontation between the detective and both of the British boys. And I think he they're trying to figure out who the monster is. And he makes an allusion to them being the monster. And Peter Cushing says, monster? We're British, which is very, like, I don't know, kind of underhanded. It's like, yeah, you guys are the monsters. Like, you're running roughshod over China, using this Russian railway and putting down all the Polish people.
Yeah. It is. There's a surprising amount of little bits. There's a surprising amount of bits in this movie.
Yeah. Yeah. Good bits, funny bits.
Yeah. All right. Well, any final thoughts on Horror Express from 1972 before we get into our final flick?
Nope, that's about it for this one. I enjoyed it. It was the first watch for me as well. Like, I did a lot of fucking Christopher Lee movie skimming just to find one that was, because I originally, like I said, I originally started with like the Satanic Rites of Dracula, and I just didn't think it was enough Lee.
Yeah.
So I did a lot of skimming to find that had enough Lee in it.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I was I think I mentioned before I picked Wicker Man, I was between this and City of the Dead, which I do really like City of the Dead. But I actually watched our next movie, which we're going to talk about, Curse of Frankenstein, from 1957, before I ended up finalizing, my pick as Wicker Man. But that'll wrap up our discussion for this week. But join us next week as we progress through our Christopher Lee showdown for this here month of August. Don't forget, if you've got suggestions for us for showdown topics you want us to add to the wheel, if you're looking ahead like your boy and you've got suggestions that you want us to add to the Wheel-O-Ween, which we will be spinning next month in September, send them our way. Slide into the old DMs at Halloween is Forever on all the various social medias, or you can send us one of them old-fashioned emails at halloweenisforeverpod@gmail.com. We'll check that as well. All right. Before we wrap this up, anything else, Stephen, before we move on to next week?
No.
All right. Well, listen, it's been British. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.